Good day, viewers, and thank you for joining us for the 2014 Coaching Education Week live chat. My name is Andrew McGinnis. I'm the Club Development Coordinator for the NSCAA, and I will be today's moderator. For the next 30 minutes, we will be discussing Coaching Education Week and the importance of continued coaching education. Joining us today are three of our national staff instructors. Roy Dunshee. Hey, Roy, how's it going?
Good afternoon, Andrew. It's beautiful. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. Also joined by Neil Hull. Neil, how are we doing today?
Great, thanks. Good morning from Texas.
Good to hear you, Neil. Also joined Teresa Echtemeyer out in Colorado. Teresa, how are you doing today?
Great, Andrew. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to be here. Today, each of our guests are going to kind of talk about their background in coaching education, both as an attendee of NSCAA courses and as now an instructor on the national level. I will let each of them fill you in on their backgrounds and how they got started in the game and how coaching education got them to the point they are today. Teresa, could you start us off, please?
Sure. Well, I'll start with how I got introduced to the NSCAA. I was kind of late to the coaching education game. I'd been coaching for about 7 years, and somebody told me about the NSCAA state diploma. For those of you that have been around for a while, you know that diploma. So I took my first coaching course as the NSCAA state diploma, and then I worked my way up to the residential courses, the national course, and then, of course, the advanced and the premier. I had done other licensing courses across the way. And I was a youth and a high school coach at the time and was also doing some assistant coaching at a college. And so one of the great things about me when I went to these coaching education courses is young in my career, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And I think everybody felt like college was the only direction. And I got a lot of great guidance and feedback from the staff on the NSCAA courses, and it kind of led me into the role that I am today. I'm a full-time director at Real, Colorado, coach and player development on the recreational side, and I love every minute of working with the youth club coaches and helping them educate the kids in our programs. And then I also coach high school. So that's kind of how I got wrapped into the NSCAA as I went to my advanced courses, the Advanced National and the Premier. I was invited to come and do some local courses. So I started on as an associate staff, which most of us did, and did some local courses, then ended up eventually coming on staff and being a staff coach. So.
Perfect. Thank you, Teresa. I'd also like to remind all of our viewers today that you can send questions into nscaa.com by using the hashtag on Twitter, CEW2014, or you can email list@nscaa.com. Neil, could you tell us a bit about your background and how you got involved with the NSCAA, sir?
Yeah, hi. Obviously, I started off in England working, running courses or doing courses with the English FA, and then I came over here in '96 and realizing that Americans are totally educated in a different way to how we are in England. I thought I've got to sit in with the American education system, learn how Americans learn, work alongside them, and benefit from the education phase. So I started off, my first course was a national course in '97, I believe, and we did that at Penn State. And the big part of that was just getting introduced to people like Tony Waiters and Doug Williamson, and you picked up role models along the way, which were a wonderful event, and people that weren't only a role model, but people that you could come back to and you could talk to, and they would respond to, and you could have them. You'd only just met them, but they were almost like mentors. Other areas I'd come into, it was more of a meet, greet, and leave, but it was more of a family environment with the NSCAA. And I went through and did my national, then my advanced national, then my premier, moving around through Maryland, moving around through Texas, and eventually traveling back down to Texas. I met a gentleman that I'd known for a long time and coached alongside for a long time, a guy called Jimmy Graham, and he happened to be the state director at the time. And he asked me if I wanted to come on the staff and work on the staff and run twos and what were states and regionals and advanced regionals. And the feedback I had from it, the feelings I had from it, the influence that you could leave on other players and coaches was incredible. You knew that by working with one coach, you'd probably influence 10, 15, 20 players. And I think that's the extension that you're looking for in a way to to advance the coaching education in layers through coaches and through other areas. Jimmy left the state to go to Florida, and he's having a good time down there, and I got picked up for the state director's position, which was really nice. Moving in from there, eventually the regional position was separated out, and I took control of the whole of Texas, which is a massive state with a massive responsibility. But we've achieved great things. We regularly coach about 400 to 500 coaches each year here in Texas, and bring them on, which is very nice. And in the past sort of 5-6 years, we started bringing the regional course, the national diplomas that we've been holding up in Grapevine. We have this summer the advanced nationals, and we've really sort of built from grassroots a staff, a system, and an education base that's won the hearts of many, and we've put a lot of influence out. So it's been a long journey since about 2003, been involved actually on the education staff, and I think since about 2010 on the national staff. Highlight of my time was being awarded the Associate Coach of the Year award in 2010. That was a wonderful achievement. I got a phone call from Jeff Tippin, and suddenly, bang, it was out there. And not something you knew about, not something you were working towards, but something you were rewarded with. And I think that's where rewards come best, when they come through without you actually trying to maybe achieve them. But working with the NSCAA and coaching alongside other coaches like Roy and Teresa is a wonderful achievement.
Thank you, Neil, and of course we are glad to have you on our national staff as well. Roy, could you kind of elaborate on how you got started with the NSCAA and how coaching education got you to where you are today?
Sure. I began with the USSF courses and then decided to give NSCAA courses a try because I had heard so many nice things about them. And I had what I can only describe as a life-transforming experience at the NSCAA National. I had Nora McGuire-White as my instructor, and I loved her. I thought she was dynamic, and I learned a ton. Peter Gooden was the director. I fell in love with him. I thought everything he said was funny. Usually it was intentional. Sometimes it wasn't. And I just got romanced by the game. My background was as a player, and as a coach, I didn't have that much education, apart from what I had learned through Corver coaching, I'd worked for them for many years. But this was a more formal approach, and it felt like fantasy camp to me. I just loved the week. It was at University of Richmond. It was a great week for me. I got to play a lot. I learned a ton about the game, so I immediately signed up for the Advanced National. And then I had Dave Sayward there, who, again, I just loved him. And then moved on to the Premier. I had Barry Gorman, same. It was a great experience, and I wanted to get more involved, and I was lucky to be invited to do so. And I've been teaching coaching courses ever since. And the courses, for me, always offered a new way of thinking about the game. And even if it was just subtle things, it energized my coaching every time I went through one of the courses. And I'd add that it energized my playing. I would come away from every course thinking, I wish I would have known all this stuff when I was a young player. But I was an old player. I was still playing, and so I was applying the things I was learning from the coaching courses to my playing style, too. It made me a more efficient player. The courses are valuable at a number of levels. And now, as Neil said, and I think T said it too, the fact that we get to interact with so many young coaches or even older coaches who are maybe new to coaching education is incredibly rewarding, that we can affect so many different lives.
I think that's a great point you make, Roy. As a coach, not only can you educate yourself, but you can then pass that education down to your players and have a great impact on not only their playing career, but also their career following the game. If they get involved in coaching, or even if they get involved in regular business, there's things that we can take from our coaching education diploma courses as well. Now, obviously, we focused on your individual backgrounds, and I'd like to delve into that a bit further. If each of you could just comment a bit on the importance of coaching education in your opinion, whether it be a new coach starting out or somebody who's been involved in the game for 10, 15 years. Neil, would you start off, please?
Neil? Okay. To me, the importance of coaching, it's placing an extension on the coach that you're dealing with and placing an influence on the players. And we as coaches, we've really got to I personally believe, ensure that the limitation of the coach isn't placed on the limitation of the player. Often we'll get players that are extremely good, and they make our teams and they create our teams, and we hold them in to make us better as a coach, possibly. But we can't allow that to happen. If that player extends beyond the coach's knowledge, then we've got to let that player go and move through. Or we've got to achieve our knowledge to become greater. And that's where coaching education comes in. It's not only the fact that we are attending courses, maybe we're hitting a national, maybe we're hitting an advanced national. I'm doing the advanced national this summer, as we'll speak about in Grapevine. But I did my advanced national in 2002, I believe. And so it's been a long time with a different curriculum. I've gone back to the current curriculum, I've studied it, I've worked it, I've read through it, and I'm relearning the passages just on my own to help other people become better. I think that's where the education comes in. We never stop learning. We'll pick up a book, you'll look through it, you'll communicate with other coaches, they'll send you articles, you'll go on the websites, on the blogs. And so the coaching education has to stimulate you as a coach so that it stimulates your players. And if we can work that sort of environment where we're challenging the player, but then I want that player to sub-challenge me and make me better and make me research areas that I have to make people better. And then when we come into the coaching environment, you're standing in front of 15, 20 coaches doing a level 6 or something. You want those coaches to challenge you and test you and ask you the questions that you can help build them with. And if we don't know, we've got to research it and go back to them. It's a continual circle of education and supporting those that want to be educated, not those that some of them believe maybe they know enough. And often the little knowledge is dangerous.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think you make a very good point that it's a continuing circle, Neil, because obviously, as we all know, the game is constantly evolving, and there's new formations or new formation preferences that are coming up every year. So to continue to educate yourself allows you to stay up to speed with the game as well. Teresa, could you kind of comment on your opinions on the importance of coaching education as a whole?
Well, obviously, in our country, and talking about Neil's background, I think for us, because a lot of people grew up where they weren't necessarily following soccer and passionate about soccer, I think for us, we have to work harder to be educated. And I think our country and our systems and NSCAA does a fantastic job of giving us opportunities to do that. And if I look at coaching education, I look at it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to challenge yourself. And a lot of times we have to put ourselves in an uncomfortable situation, which a lot of times you feel that way when you're at a coaching course. But those sometimes are the magic moments in your career where, I made it through that. I got over that hurdle. I stretched myself. I really challenged myself. And for me personally, if I look at our residential courses and what that does for all of us, the opportunity, like Neil said and Roy said, to find mentors in within that week. And I'm not just talking about the staff coaches. I mean, every staff coach will tell you that I learn as much from the candidates as I do from my colleagues on staff, and vice versa. So I think coaching education is just key, so you don't stay stagnant. You find new ideas, and the thing that's brilliant about the residential courses is you have such a wide variety of experiences there. I mean, we have people from all around the world. We have people coaching 5 to 10-year-olds. We have people coaching national teams, Division I teams, junior college. So it's just, it's brilliant, it's magical, and I really would just say to everybody, if you have the opportunity to take the risk and get there, it's worth it. It's so worth it.
Thank you, Teresa. Roy, let's hear your thoughts on the importance of coaching education as a whole to the game of soccer in this country.
Well, we should all feel very lucky that in our sport all this education is available, because it's not there in the other American sports where coaches are developed through apprenticeships, which take years and years and years, or they educate themselves. We have this great apparatus in place where we can get education, and I think it's a shame when coaches don't reach out and take advantage of it. We ask of our players that they push themselves, that they find new levels, that they grow, and we have to live that too, or else we're hypocrites, aren't we? Mm-hmm. So we have to always take advantage of growth, grow or die, right? So anytime I've done one of the courses, either as a candidate or now as an instructor, I take it as an opportunity to grow, and it always re-energizes my coaching. I come out of the courses, I want to get back, I want to get on the field immediately with one of my teams and share some of the things that I've learned and the new energy I've found. And I think it also helps coaches refine their coaching philosophy. So your knowledge of the game expands. You gain a deeper understanding of the game, how it works, how you analyze it, how you teach it. But it also helps you really look inside and ask yourself hard questions about why you're doing this and what you hope to achieve. And that might be the most important lesson of all, because it helps us all grow as people, and then we pass that on to the coaches that we work with and the athletes that we work with.
Thank you, Roy. Great points. Obviously, each of you are going to be involved in some of our courses this summer. So we'll start with you, Teresa. Could you kind of talk about the courses that you'll be involved in and what candidates should expect from those courses if they've never been there before?
Well, the first course I'm up for is this upcoming week at San Francisco State. I'm going to be instructing the national course. We're also hosting the advanced national there, so that'll be very exciting. I think the things that the candidates can expect is a great sense of family and camaraderie. I know Roy and Neil both said that. You have the opportunity to be on the field and also in the classroom, so there's lots of different type of learning models. It's obviously long days, and we make sure that we build in an opportunity for rest within those days. But I think some of the other things they can expect are, like Neil and Roy said, opportunities to think a little bit differently. We focus not just on the X's and O's, but we talk about methodology, teaching process, managing. And there's a lot of practical application. So we give you information and opportunities how you can practically you can apply that. I think what candidates can really expect is the opportunity to stretch themselves, grow, and get new contacts. I think everyone here will tell you that you're going to meet people in that week-long course that you'll know for the rest of your life, which is pretty amazing.
Great point. The NSCAA courses have a history of bringing groups of people together, like you had mentioned earlier, who are from completely different backgrounds. And that's one thing that all candidates can expect, is to not only be able to network with the attendees, but also our instructors as well. We like to treat it as a family, and after courses, it's very common that people stay in touch for 10, 15, even lifetimes. Neil, could you talk about the Grapevine courses that you're going to be involved in? Obviously, you've shed light on those earlier in the chat.
Yeah, we have our first ever advanced national to be held here in Texas. In my time working here, and as far as I know previously, so that's a huge achievement. And we have a national as well, and we built those. We've had about 6 nationals now, so we're built through to the numbers for the advanced national. We have a great resource in Grapevine, along with Barry Mitchell, who's going to be the host of the courses. The course that I'm going to be teaching on is going to be the Advanced National. It's my first time teaching the Advanced National, so I'm really looking forward to it. It's challenging me already, and so if it's going to challenge me, hopefully we're going to be challenging the candidates. The course is filled up very, very quickly, which shows that there's a need and a want for these courses. The side of things that I'm going to be teaching on it, I'll be teaching the attacking side of the ball through phase play and through functional play. I'll be teaching the counter-attacking and set-piece area. I have Cindy Goodwin on the course as well, and Jeff Vanell as the overall course instructor on the Advanced National. The national one we're hosting is a great opportunity for some of the Texas staff, as well as we're bringing on 2 new people on it, which is Brian Heyman and Richard Smith. It's their first opportunity to teach a national. They've been on the staff for a long time. They've shadowed courses. They've put a lot of depth into it, and I know they're going to be exceptional instructors, and they're going to work very well towards hitting their aims and hitting the candidates' aims. We are going to be a little bit hot here in Texas next week, I imagine. It's going to be a little bit warm, so we have to plan out for that one. We have the World Cup involved in it as well, so we're planning to the sides for that, trying to get the games in to watch some of the World Cup. Obviously, we want the US to break out of their group, and hopefully we get a good chance to do some of the match analysis or incorporate that. It seems a wasted resource if we can't incorporate that level of play into the courses somehow. So I know Jeff's looking into that, and we're all just thoroughly looking forward to seeing how we can build it. What I do like about the non-residential nationals is the fact that you have a weekend, a week, and a weekend. And in the second weekend, you really see the coaches that put in the effort to build themselves for that second weekend. They'll contact you in the dead times. Often on the last national we had, they built a Facebook page, and you could see them. It was a page just for the national diploma. And they were conversing and crossing ideas over and putting their lesson plans on there. So the course was actually mingling externally to the weekends. They had chat rooms going, and they invited myself and Cindy into them, and we were helping support them in the 5 days, the dead days between the courses, so that when they came back for the next weekend, they were even more focused and they were prepared to hit those courses, which sadly is something on the residentials, you get that opportunity to bond at night, or you'll go out for a refreshment maybe or something, and you'll get that opportunity. But we also tried to build that into the non-residentials as well, which is a great resource.
Fantastic. Thank you, Neil. It sounds like it's going to be an exciting week next week down in Texas. Roy, you're going to be involved in Chesterton, Maryland, correct? Could you kind of elaborate on what you're doing?
Sure. We're going to be hosting a national diploma here at Washington College, where I coach the men's team. It's the first time that we're doing this. I've wanted to do it for a long time. I've been the state director in Maryland for quite a while. It took me a while to get the right facility, but we've got it here. We've got great fields, really nice dorms, really good food. The pub is walking distance, so everything's lining up for a very good course. It'll be interesting having the World Cup, and as Neil said, we're going to integrate that as best we can. Our match analysis game will be against two of the top U17 boys teams in the region, so that should be a really competitive match. They're both preparing for big upcoming tournaments. We decided not to use a World Cup match as a match analysis match, because at the national diploma, where we are focused on improving a single player, we thought it would be a little bit hard on the candidates if they were given Cristiano Ronaldo to analyze and told they have to try to come up with a practice plan to make him better. So we're gonna focus instead on the U17s. We have a really good staff. Sue Ryan, Laura Kerrigan, and the formidable Jeff Tipping will be here. So I'm looking forward to gathering lots of nuggets from those coaches, and that's a word I use all the time to describe a lot of information compressed into just a few words. So when someone like Sue Ryan or Laura Kerrigan or Jeff Tipping steps out onto the field for a coaching intervention and is able to get on and off the field in 30 seconds, and in that 30 seconds deliver a ton of really important information, that's a coaching nugget. And that's when I'm taking notes, and all the candidates should be taking notes for ways that you can inform your athletes quickly and efficiently without interrupting practice for too long. So I'm looking forward to a great week.
Sounds exciting. So I'd like to get to a couple questions we have from our viewers. First and foremost, the first question would be, I don't have a lot of experience playing, but I do have a lot of experience coaching, although I've never taken an NSCAA course before. I'm interested in getting involved in the national, but where should I start based on what I currently have indicated? Neil, do you have any recommendations for this individual who's interested in eventually getting to the national, the advanced national, but doesn't necessarily know where directly to begin?
I would say, first of all, benchmark yourself. Go out to, if you're into youth coaching, or if you're into high school coaching, or if you're into college coaching, go out and watch some games and watch some coaches. Find a coach that you admire. Find a coach that you possibly respect and has the same sort of learning ethos as yourself. Once you find that person, talk to them. Go out, talk to youth club coaches, contact the director of coaching in your area. Once you've achieved that, maybe even go through your state director and look to a little bit of mentorship. In the NSCAA, they run the 30-30 mentorship program, which I think is a wonderful program. But outside of that, we can also be mentors in general. We don't have to stick to the official 30-30 programs. So take on somebody and learn from a mentor, and then find the age group that you want to coach and come in possibly at that level. The level 3 is a wonderful course to start with, because it offers a lot from the level 2, and it offers that introduction to the level 4. And if we're looking to start learning our craft and learning our technical craft, the way the new courses have been structured, the level 4 just now teaches technique. Before, in the past, and a lot of other coaching organizations and courses, they don't focus on the technique. They tell you, but they don't teach you. And the new level 4s that we're doing is really focusing on that technique. And the tactical, technical 5 and 6 brings it in really well. I would say that I don't try and jump into a national because I don't think you'll get the benefit from it. You've really got to, just like Roy said, it's a player-focused based course, and it's a technical player-focused development course. And if you just want that certificate on your wall, you're not really giving the players you're going to teach the knowledge that you're going to learn. Get your depth in first and try and learn as much as you can, so you're not the mirror coach. You're not the depth of a mirror. You're the actually depth of an education.
Perfect. Thank you, Neil. Roy, I've got a question directed towards you. Do you have any recommendations on what somebody who's taking the national diploma could do pre-national diploma to prepare for the course? Any type of readings or websites, anything that they could check out to be more up to speed and ready to go?
Well, they should jog a bit. You might want to show up fit because you get to play a lot, which is what you don't have to play, but if you like to play, you get to play a lot, which is, for me, was one of the best parts of all the courses. In terms of preparing yourself, you all can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe the manual is now online. The NSCAA National Diploma Manual is available. You might have to search around a little bit on the NSCAA website, but I would read that thing cover to cover. There are a lot of resources within the manual for external education, but by reading that manual, you'll get a big head start on what to expect at the course. You can figure out what strengths you currently have, where you might be a little bit weak, and then seek some outside sources to get you up to speed on those things. In the old days, in the dinosaur days, you didn't get the manual until you registered, and then you very quickly had to try to read it and figure out what the course was about. Now you have some time to spend with the materials that you're going to be given when you sign up, so you'll have a little head start on that kind of thing.
Perfect, and you are correct, Roy. So anybody can view the NSCAA National Diploma Manual by going to our education homepage and then going to course information. We have all our manuals listed, so if you'd like to use them as a reference or check them out to see what you're walking into, you are more than free to do so. First of all, I'd like to thank each of our attendees for joining us today. Teresa, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Neil, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you very much. It's been fun.
Roy, also, thank you for taking the time to join us.
And nice seeing you, Neil and Teresa, and I hope to see you soon. And thank you very much, Andrew.
Perfect. I'd like to remind the viewers that you can view this edition of the live chat on nscaa.com/live starting this afternoon. I'd also like to take the time to invite anyone who's interested in attending coaching education weekend courses to join us this coming Friday, next Friday, June 13th through June 20th, to take any course that we're offering and participate in Coaching Education Week. We've got them scheduled all across the country, and we have courses from the level 1 to the level 2, all the way up to the national and advanced national that we've hit on today. I'd also like to take the time to invite everyone to attend the NSCAA Summer Symposium. You can check out the nscaa.com website /symposium for more information as well. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.